live streaming is on.
Welcome, everyone, to the Nonprofit Problem Solver podcast. This is episode 29, but it's the very first on this spanking new platform, YachtMe. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be using YachtMe as a platform to showcase what it does for virtual events. Mm-hmm. And today on this first attempt with this new style, we've got Travis Johnson, another fellow podcaster in the nonprofit space. How you doing, Travis?
Hey, Kev, I'm doing great. Glad to be here. I'm excited for today. I want to kick this thing off and crush it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I just want to say thanks to Barry and Meredith at YachtMe for pulling out all the stops and trying to twist their live virtual events platform into a podcasting platform. Who knew? And PodPro Audio, as well as as my producer, making professional podcasting easy. We're hoping that we can pull this off and make it the regular thing. So the format here is that I interview a guest and we talk about a problem, hence the nonprofit problem solver. And I've asked Travis, and we'll ask subsequent guests to nominate 3 nonprofits that we are going to raise money for during the next 40 to 45 minutes. And then afterwards, we will have an opportunity, once the podcast itself is over, to move into mingle mode, which is where this platform recreates that point in the event where people can move around tables. So each of the nonprofits will have a table, and both Travis and I'll be able to chat, as will folks from YachtMe, and we'll be able to dive deeper into any questions to carry on the conversation. So before we dive into how we create recurring monthly donations, Travis, tell us a little bit about the 3 nonprofits you nominated today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate you and the people at YachtMe for putting this thing on. We're going to kick it off with Jennifer Conklin and the Hive Connection. Hive Connection, nonprofit by Oklahomans for Oklahomans. Their statewide database of other Oklahoma nonprofits help them connect clients to resources in any county, from pet food to sober living, housing, and everything in between. They also use donations to provide financial assistance to when a client's need cannot be met by another organization. So very happy and glad to have Jennifer and the Hive Connection on today.
Yeah, welcome, Jennifer.
Absolutely. And we've got Megan Fox here available from the Battling Betties, and their mission is for our organization to honor and serve our nation's military veterans, first responders, and their families by supporting and creating unique programs and events that will inspire our nation, foster patriotism, and raise awareness for post-traumatic stress and suicide prevention. They do this by dressing up as pinups, and they have a great time doing it. And if they're at your event, they're going to be lovely and wonderful, and they're going to cause a little mischief too and have fun with it. So welcome, Megan.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's a hoot. It's a blast. love to have them, and they have all sorts of fun. And then we've got Allie Fitzpatrick from Nate's Community Garage, and it is exactly what you think it is. They help fix people's cars that are in need, so they're not choosing between food and getting to work the next day. So we love what Nate's Community Garage is doing, and they're out of Minnesota. So glad to have them on board, and so happy that I could support and nominate those 3 nonprofits today.
Well, thank you. And I hope we're able to raise a bit of money for each of them. The platform is continuing to develop and upgrade at a rapid pace. So some of the functionality we've got today is we don't have the typical donate button that would be at the top of the screen that for the way we've set up the podcast. But at the top of the chat, there should be a link directly to the YachtMe page for each of the nonprofits. That's the Hive Connection, Battling Betties, and Nate's Community Garage. And if you want to donate, you can just click that, scroll up to the top of the chat, and click on that, and you'll be able to make a donation very easily and still listen to our dulcet tones as we tackle this particular topic. And while we do so, I've mentioned the chat. Please feel free to ask questions, to make comments. I'll keep an eye on that as we go, and I'll be able to bring those questions to bear during the conversation. But you mentioned Battling Betties is part of their mission is to support the armed forces. You are
Mhm.
actually a serving naval officer, Travis, aren't you?
I am. I've still active duty. I've got over 20 years of active service. Those that know military stuff, I should let you know that I did 12 years enlisted, and I'm on year 9 of commissioned service, and I fly the E-6B Mercury out of Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City.
Wow, and thank you for your service. So tell us a little bit about you and about your podcast, because I want to give you a plug here too for the Nonprofit Architect podcast and Facebook group. So tell us a little bit about what you do for nonprofits.
Thanks, Kev. So we host the Nonprofit Architect podcast, where we interview nonprofit leaders, business leaders, consultants, and people with the special skills to help you build stronger nonprofits. When I did a survey of the nonprofit podcasts that are out there, I noticed that there was a lot of discussion about kind of the industry a little bit, and people were highlighting what they were doing, but there wasn't a lot of people out there just giving you the how-to, the dirty details of how do you put this thing together? How do you put a board together? How do you get them motivated? How do you get them raising money? How do you put together a fundraiser? How do you talk about governance and all the things nonprofit related? So we have those important conversations. You can find out more about us at nonprofitarchitect.org. And if you put in the Nonprofit Architect podcast, I think we're like the first 30 stinking results on Google. So if you can't find us, you're not trying. Get in there and take a look at that. And I know we're going to talk about yeah, easy to find. If you look at Nonprofit Architect in any social media, I'm going to come up. But we're going to talk today about monthly recurring donations, and that's our primary program that we offer for nonprofits, because we know that nonprofit leaders spend month after month, year after year, searching and scrambling for donors all the time. That's all they seem to do. They barely have time for governance. They hardly deliver programs because they're just searching for funds. So our primary program allows us to increase monthly recurring donations through a few different avenues. So you can say no to more work and yes to more money.
Yeah, well, that's great. I want to understand exactly how that program works, but let me just start from the beginning. Why would a nonprofit not have monthly recurring donations? Is there a good reason not to have them?
There's not. The normal things that we hear is that they don't ask for them, which it just floors me. Like, I don't want your $20. Give me $20 a month. Like, get on board with this. Oh, I want to give you 10 grand. Cool. Would you be interested in giving me $1,000 a month instead? Because if you can afford 10 grand, you can afford $1,000 a month. And at the end of the year, if that one ask has given you 12 grand instead of one ask for 10 grand. So you're not having to go back to them month after month after month. And when you have that recurring donation, then you can actually plan your monthly budget instead of getting a huge infusion of money and then figuring out how to budget it over time. You have that recurring thing building each and every month that allows you to plan and move forward without having to go back out and ask for more money.
And do you find that a lot of executive directors or development directors are thinking of monthly donations in the I will get to it later box? It's too hard, or I need something. We will give it some attention, but it's not our priority because we have this event to run, or we're trying to stand up our major grants program this year, which is something different, and they just haven't got round to it. Is that a typical scenario?
I don't know if that's a typical scenario. What I mostly hear is that they're just scrambling for any donation. So as soon as they get a yes, they're just okay with it. And then they don't say, how would you like to put that into a monthly format? It's like a scarcity mindset. Like, there's not enough money out there. There is plenty of money out there. We saw through the pandemic that every organization that continued to ask, they might have lost the $500 in down donations because of, people's personal situation, but the $1,000 and up donations, those came in the truckloads. So everyone that continued to ask found out that not only there was enough money, but they were having banner years, record years, more money than they've ever made in the past.
Right. So in the act of setting up the monthly donation, and we'll get to how you activate it in a second, but in the act of asking people for, say, $20 a month, people say, I don't want to do that, but I'm going to write you a check here for $250 or whatever. You get a lot of miscellaneous stuff that you're going to get anyway, because some people will decide to do it that way instead.
Oh, absolutely. And, you're not going to turn away the donation, but if you ask for a recurring gift, you're more likely to build a sustainable platform for your future. If you get $3,000 a month in donations, and that's what it takes you to run each and every month, and none of them are recurring, next month you also have to find out how you're going to get $3,000 for that month.
Right.
But if at any point in there, if 1,000 of those dollars are recurring, now you only have to figure out how to get $2,000 instead of $3,000.
Right. Okay. So it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a just add water and instantly you've got 100 monthly donations, but it is something that you build up over time. So walk us through. I guess we'll start big and then get into the details. So what is a monthly recurring program look like, and how hard is it to run? Let's look at this sort of the big picture side of it.
So this is the easiest thing that I've ever seen work. And the problem that the pushback that I get is that, organizations have been around forever, and the way you do fundraising has been essentially set in stone forever. So anytime anything new comes up, people are like, I don't want to do the new thing because it's hard or it's different, or I got to convince the board of it. If you go to my link tree, and I'll put it in the chat here in a sec, there's a free guide on how to do this because I want to make it easy for people to do these things. And the easiest way I found is to trade them a free gift, a free thing in return for $20 a month, right? What does that look like? When people are like, well, I got to have the supply chain set up, I've got to figure out how to do all these things. You don't. There's organizations out there like Printful and Teespring and a host of others. I use reallydesigns.biz because it is a veteran organization, and it's 2 Navy veterans that's their primary income. They make it out of their house. So why wouldn't I want to support those? But they don't charge you any money to design the t-shirt or whatever product you have. And they don't make any of them until you sell them. So there's no money out of your pocket up front, which is
what I love about this
for most people.
What I love about this, just while you're mentioning t-shirts, I see a lot of nonprofits trying to do merchandising early on in their first couple of years to try and build a following and raise a bit of money. And they use the platforms that you mentioned, but they're not thinking of it other than, if I sell a t-shirt for $20, I get to keep 10 or 12 or whatever their share is. And it's a fundraiser in its own right. But what you're saying is give them the t-shirt for free in exchange for starting a monthly gift.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. So people are always worried about margin. Anyone that doesn't have money come in is worried about how much money they're going to make off the t-shirt sale. It doesn't matter, because month number 2, right? Month number 1, they give you $20. You buy the t-shirt, you send it to them. Month number 2, you get $20 with no strings attached. Month number 3, another $20. Month number 4, another $20. And you have nothing else to do other than to show your supporters what you're doing with the money. Right. So we had a young.
Let me just. It's for those who are listening to the podcast later and not watching this on YachtMe and following the chat. It's Linktree, which is linktr.ee and then /nonprofit architect. That will take you to that free guide that Travis mentioned, and I will probably ask him to borrow it so I can send it to people too, because it's got his name all over it. So it's not like I'm stealing it and taking credit. And then the veteran-led organization that does the t-shirt designs is reallydesigns.biz. Reallydesigns.biz, a veteran organization. So would be happy to support. Okay, so I keep interrupting there. Apologies for that. So we're told by Meredith at YachtMe that YachtMe is adding a recurring donation functionality to the platform. It will be available to use by early July 2021. Another reason to sign up and use YachtMe for your virtual events or your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does this look like, right? It's all laid out in the guide, but if you've got a platform that can accept monthly recurring donations, coming soon, YachtMe, PayPal, Stripe, whatever, I've got links in the free guide. It's seriously free. You go to the link tree, you grab it on there. It's like how to turn your social media followers into monthly recurring donations. Go grab the guide, right? It's out there because I want nonprofits to have the money they need to help the people that they're trying to help. Like, I don't care if I get paid for this. It's not part of the gig, right? Right. And it lays it out on there. You've got something that can accept monthly recurring donations. Check. You've talked to Ginger and David at reallydesigns.biz. They've created a free design for you. There's no design fee, and they don't make anything until it's paid for, right? So you get no one to sign up for this thing. The whole thing costs you $0. And then it walks you through how to create a social media post that's going to get engagement and how it's going to get people drawn into your network and bring them into the monthly recurring fold here. And I did an interview with Brady Josephson from Next After. Go to Nonprofit Architect Podcast, look up that. We talk about all the different stats and different things involving nonprofits. But he's got a line in there that says people are most likely to become monthly recurring donors within 2 weeks of their first gift or first contact. So if you do an event, if you're doing a gala or whatever it is that you do, and you don't talk to them for a month later, you've missed that window to ask them for recurring monthly donations. And as soon as they sign up for recurring monthly donations, especially if it's a smaller gift, a micro donation under $10 or something like $20, you don't change your budget for that. Anyone can sign up for $5 or $10, and most people, vast majority of people, can sign up for $20 a month without any concern or thought for their budget. And they'll let that thing go on for years and years, racking you up cash while they're figuring this thing out.
Right. And the use of social media reminds me that this is really a one-to-many strategy. This isn't where you're cultivating people through those personal one-to-one relationships and looking for, as you said, the massive gift. This is something that you can do in a one-to-many approach through email contacts and social media and all those other tools, because people are, as you said, likely to respond to in the first couple of weeks. It's a relatively low ticket to begin with, and then obviously you can try and encourage people to increase their monthly donations later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what does this look like? We had an organization, Feed It Forward OKC, straightforward, right? They were feeding homeless people, really easy. That example's in the guide. It walks you through what it looks like, what she said, and what she offered. In her case, she offered a couple of different t-shirt designs so you could help out and look good at the same time. Now, people are like, well, why would I give away a free t-shirt? Again, you're not worried about the margin on day one, because the next month, all that money is coming to you free and unencumbered. So for her one Facebook post, keep in mind, she was very active on Facebook, right? She had about 2,000 people in her group. 5% of those people, so 100 people, said yes to one Facebook post for $20 a month in exchange for a free t-shirt. So from one Facebook post, this gal got $2,000 a month in monthly recurring donations.
Wow.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Basically, it's money on the table that folks aren't picking up.
The biggest thing is, if people don't know how to support you, they won't, because they don't know what you want them to do. And some people believe that a small donation like $5, $10, or $20, especially recurring, they don't feel like it has the impact that you need. Well, here's the deal. I've got an interview with Stephen Kuhn, Kuhn, Stephen Kuhn, on my podcast, Nonprofit Architect Podcast, and he talks about monthly recurring donations through a website that actually has an impact, that actually is how to turn your website into an active employee. He's got 3 organizations making $200,000 a month, and none of the donations are more than $9.
Wow. How did you do that?
You'll have to listen to the episode.
There we go. That was the plug. I set you up.
That's the plug, right? So most nonprofit websites look nothing more than a digital pamphlet. This is who we are. This is what we do. Donate on the donate button. And the problem with that is that's the kind of website that you go to once. That is not a type of website that you go to over and over and over again. The reason we go to Google, the reason we go to a news website, or the reason we go to social media is every time we go, there's new content. That's why you go back over and over again. You're like, what's new? What's new? I want to be in the know. I want to know what's going on. And if your website isn't producing some kind of content, whether a blog, a vlog, or a podcast, I highly recommend podcasts for obvious reasons. But that allows you to create new content and have people to have a reason to go back to your website. And as they go back, my interview with Stephen Kuhn lays it out, how you're going to collect email addresses and how you're going to ask them for a micro donation, in his case, $3, $6, or $9 a month.
Right. So that makes your website then a more active fundraiser. And it's important that
Right.
nonprofits are clear about what their website is there to do. Some people, as you said, are trying to reach too many different audiences, but that's a separate topic. Except insofar as is that if you are setting up a recurring monthly donation program, you want to consider at least how your website can support you in doing that. I should say that as we were reminded earlier, that Yotme will have the ability to do that. And one of the virtues of this platform for nonprofits, aside from being free, is that it is set up with a CRM behind it. So the information collected by the platform for guests to your event is CRM ready. So if you want to export it to your existing CRM, or you can use it as a CRM, it's got all that sort of information, as opposed to a lot of the event-driven software, which doesn't collect donor type information. So the ability to retain it within this platform is another value add that you won't see elsewhere. Again, totally free to the nonprofit. So let's say I want to start this approach. Then what's the first thing I do, Travis, aside from get your free guide at the link tree? What's it going to tell me to do first of all?
For which one? For t-shirt in exchange for monthly donations, or for micro donations?
So for creating a monthly donation. So say I've listened to this podcast or watched it here on Yotme, and I think, well, this is definitely something we should do. I know one of the, I think it's the Nate's Community Garage is saying that they would consider doing this. They don't have a monthly program at the moment, so this is timely. So what's the first bit of advice? Do you have to put a report to the board and get lots of engagement and buy-in from a governance perspective, or is this something you can start in an hour?
Well, this is really a question. This is one of my favorite questions to ask, and it's kind of a jerk question. I asked people if they are the chief executive officer or they're the chief ask the board everything officer, because this program is zero cost to implement in any way, shape, or form, and you can have it set up by the end of today.
Okay, so it's a quick to do, quick to get going, very low risk. It's just a bit of time, which you could have spent Googling how to set up a monthly donation program, and reading through lots of other things you might find, which would be of less value than this conversation. So we're telling you straight away how to do it. And so step one is what? What are the first couple of steps that you would do?
It's only a 4-step guide. That's it. It's all it is, 4 steps. Make sure you can collect recurring payments. If you can't, or you don't have it set up yet, get the guide. It says in there, especially, I think, a link to PayPal, how to set it up for monthly recurring donations. Step 2 is you need some kind of product. It could be a t-shirt, face mask, hat, mug, poker chip, whatever the thing is, whatever it is that you do, you got to have a product. If you already have a product, right, there's a lot of people that created t-shirts for an event or whatever, and they've got a stack of them in the closet. Use those. You already have them. Use them. Right? Get them out of your closet. Let them stop collecting dust. If you don't have a product, highly recommend Ginger and David at reallydesigns.biz, and they will do the graphic work for you for $0. They'll host it on their store for $0. And unless anything is bought, nothing ever comes out of your pocket. So again, no reason not to do so. Step number 3, you create a social media post. In the guide, walks you through step by step what to say, how to say it, how to lay it out, what should it look like, and why, most importantly, why those things are included in there. So the example that's in there sounds something like, I don't have it up behind me, but we've been giving, we've been feeding 300 people every week, which is great. But every week, every time we feed people, there's still 100 people or so left behind, and that breaks my heart. I need your help. Our goal is to start feeding 400 people a week, so we don't have to turn anyone away. And we have a free offer. We're going to give you a free t-shirt in exchange for $20 a month. And this could be $15 a month. It could be $25 a month, right? You decide, whatever that number is. Look great and show your support for us at the same time. Choose between these t-shirt designs, or you do a different ask every month. Like this month could be a t-shirt, next month can be a hat, and month after that could be a mug and a mask, whatever your thing is. right? Sign up here at the link. Tell me the size of the t-shirt you need. So no one signs up. You do nothing. You owe nobody $0. You owe nothing, right? This is the step number 4. Someone says yes, right? So you go to Really Designs, you order the t-shirt, you ship it direct to them. That way you're not getting it, then having to take it to the post office or something lame like that. That adds extra work to you. And then the next month, the money just shows up in your account.
So the t-shirts are approximately $20 then per unit per t-shirt.
Whatever you guys decide.
Right.
You set the price. I think I've got my t-shirt sent at $20 or $22. I don't care what the dollar amount is. It's not important. The important part is the next month.
Right.
But you're not worried about making the money month 1. Whether you make $8 in the margin, or you make $2 in the margin, or $0.
Oh, 0.
The first month doesn't matter.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The first donation that someone makes before they recur basically covers the cost of the item they're getting, and then
that's right.
From then forward, then it's as you said, it goes straight to your bottom line.
Yeah. So let's just say day 1, you've got 100 people sign up. You go and you make 100 orders, which is a pain. It kind of is. You go make 100 orders. You have all their contact information, right? Ginger and David make the t-shirts. They ship them directly. Everyone's happy. Month 2, that $2,000 a month is coming in with no other work to be done.
Right.
You don't have to send them nothing. You send them a thank you card or whatever it is that you decide to do. And that $2,000 a month keeps coming in unless someone cancels.
And do you recommend that people do, as you said, a social media post, and then there's a sort of this burst of excitement and you get people through the door, and then when do you reach out again for more monthly donors?
It really depends on the person. I'm a fan of the 6-week cycle, to have something different posted a couple times a week that you can put recurring using things like Hootsuite or other social media promotion items. But either once a month or once every 6 weeks. And people are like, well, I don't know what to put out there. What if it sucks? If it sucks, you just make something new next time, right? You put some fake graphics on a t-shirt and you post it on and you say, hey guys, we're thinking about these options. Vote for your favorite one. And the one that gets the most votes, that's the one you offer first. You let them decide what they want, what they're going to get.
Right. And if you, so what you're saying, just to clarify, every month or every 6 weeks, you do a promotion that says we're trying to raise this money, or here's an opportunity to become a monthly donor. You make that on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Or every 6
so this
weeks,
month it might be $20 for a t-shirt. Next month it might be $15 for a free branded mask. The next month after might be like, hey, sign up for $18. We'll send you a free hat. You know, someone might be like, I'd love to support you monthly, but I've got enough t-shirts. I don't care. Or they might say, oh, I would really love a mask. Or they might say, you know what, a mug would be more my speed. So after, 4 to 6 weeks, you're putting out a different type of product every time. And it's easy, it's straightforward, it's simple, and it doesn't cost you anything.
And do you recommend that you follow up for the social media by also sending, for example, an email to your list of donors or whoever's in your CRM, your list of supporters, and putting something on the website, so making it really easy for people to opt in?
Of course. Don't put any barriers to allowing people to give you free money.
Right. So I've seen a model where you do as you said, like a monthly burst. So you treat it like a campaign, and you say, okay, this month, call it say March or April, we're going to make a concerted effort to get 10 people who are our board and closest supporters to each find 10 people to be monthly recurring donors, and we're going to try and get them recruited as monthly donors in the next 30 days. And then that's sort of your lot. Like you don't then do that over and over and over again, but
it
your
doesn't
model
have to be
different.
that complicated.
Right.
It does not have to be kind of complicated. You can copy the stinking post in my guide, change the names to protect the innocent, put it out there with no one's permission because it costs nobody anything. And if people get it, they get it. If they don't get it, they don't get it. And the next month or the next 6 weeks, you do another social media post. You say, hey, board members, share this. It's going to cost us nothing. It's going to help us out. You say, hey, volunteers, people that are in my network, share this for me. Help us bring in monthly recurring donations. That's it. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. You don't have to have a session where you get all your team together to figure this out. You don't have to do that. People want it to be hard. I don't know why they want it to be hard, but they think if they're not going through the pain of this, that somehow has no value. You don't have to run yourself through the ringer to do something like this. Stop doing it.
But your point is, it's not a one-off campaign. Do it at a particular time of the year so it doesn't clash with your events and your end-of-year campaign. And so on. This is an ever-present.
Every month. Yes,
right.
Do it every month. Seriously.
Okay. And that,
why would you not want people to give you money? People are like, well, I don't want to give them a product. I don't want to do a thing. I'm not that kind of person. Look, through 2015, the NFL was a nonprofit. Everything the most of their money is made through selling swag, jerseys, hats, baby bibs, bumper stickers. If they could do it and make billions of dollars, why can't you do it? Why don't you want people to pay for the chance to market for you by walking around with your cool swag with your name on it? Like this great sign back here from Incognito Metalworks, right? That's in my show. Why wouldn't I promote that thing? Why wouldn't I give someone the chance to buy something just like this?
Right. Why wouldn't you appear on my podcast advertising your own podcast? That's exactly how we do it, right?
Yeah.
So
people get hung up on all the red tape. People get hung up on the fact that it needs to be painful to do this stuff. It doesn't have to be. Stop making it hard on yourself. You're choosing to make it hard. Stop it.
And what you're saying, though, I think this is a critical takeaway. Is it's easy to start, get moving, imperfect action, just do it and allow it to grow. It's not a one and done that you will, fingers crossed, hope it works, and then we'll dust it off and do it again next year at approximately this time because it's one of our campaigns. And I think that's a important feature, because most of the folks I've spoken to about creating a monthly recurring program have treated it like a campaign that's done at a particular time of the year for a concentrated period. And you're saying, no, this is part of what you do all the time. You always want monthly donors. Now,
no, I wouldn't.
We got a question here from Alicia Fitzpatrick about having a small list. Do you need a large following? Like you mentioned, a Facebook group where that post went out for the food bank in Oklahoma, and she had 2,000 people in her group and got 100. What sort of size list do you need to make this worthwhile?
You only need one person. You need a friend of yours. Hey, man, you want to give me $20 a month? I'll give you a free T-shirt to help promote my stuff. Yeah, man, anything you need. It doesn't matter what you're following. There's no minimum requirement, right? So many people get wrapped up on the preparatory work that they never take the action. Well, I've got to read another 5, self-improvement books, or I've got to listen to 10 episodes of Kev or Travis's show before I take action. No, you do not. The knowledge is only half the battle, G.I. Joe. The other half is action. Knowledge can get you 95% of the way there, but will never give you 100% of the way there. You have to take action in order to make this work. Doesn't matter how much you know. It matters what you do. Doesn't matter what your mission is. It matters what impact you're making.
Yeah.
Thousands of other organizations
singing my tune. Yeah, there we are. Right, because nonprofits are small businesses, and they need to deliver. They need to do stuff rather than plan stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so next question is the numbers that we've spoken about this a couple of times. That what proportion of my overall budget might I consider this program could support?
It can be 100% of your budget.
So walk me through that. So how that could work.
Let's just say, just for ease of numbers, we already talked about 100 people saying yes at $20 a month for $2,000 a month, right? We've already said that, right? If you get 100 people in month 2 to do the same thing for a different product, now you have $4,000 a month coming in. In month number 3, another 100 people do it. Now you have $6,000 a month coming in. right? If you want to get paid for staff, if you want to, convert your board to believers on this stuff, if you want to be able to make impact every single month, more impact than the month before, this is less donations that you have to chase down every month. You can go to a coffee with a potential major donor and be completely relaxed because all your bills are paid. Why wouldn't you want this? I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't want a stack of monthly recurring donors. And if you listened to what I mentioned about Stephen Kuhn, he's got 3 organizations, each making $200,000 a month. A month.
Wow.
They've built this up per month. That's $1.2 million a year.
And
No, it's
just
not.
in donations
No,
of
it's not.
$3, $6, and
$2.4 million
$9
a year.
$3, $6, and $9. You said?
Yeah, $3, $6, and $9. They create content. They have guest bloggers that go on there. So there's a reason for people to come back. When they come back, hey, give us $3, $6, or $9. Why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't support all the great value you're giving for $3, $6, or $9?
So basically setting this up very quickly in an afternoon to get it going, and improving as you go, having an opportunity to recruit new monthly donors each month. Again, not hard to identify and design a product, put out a couple of social media posts, send out an email, and maybe a direct mail campaign to your followers, make it really easy on your website, maybe a pop-up on your website that comes up as people visit and say, hey, join this program. And then follow it. Basically, you're saying this could fund your entire budget for the year. It
can. That can do it, right, with the free t-shirt. Stephen Kuhn, Designing Your Own Website. You've got to listen to that show to understand the full capacity of that thing. That can fund your whole program. And we still haven't even talked about the third way to increase monthly recurring donations.
Well, I'm excited. What's the third way?
The third way, I'm going to post something here in the chat here, is something like emberpay. And you'll have to see it in the chat because it's a little wonky. But anyone that already supports you that is a business, all of them process credit card payments. And they want to help you, right? They give through their philanthropy budget and what have you, but really they're giving out of the goodness of their heart. What you could do is offer them a solution to help put more money back in their pocket. So something like Stripe, something like PayPal, they have like a set fee. It's like 2.2% or whatever for every fee. What they don't tell you is they have a whole list of reasons why to charge you more for every single transaction, right? They have a whole list of reasons why they're going to charge you more than 2.2%. Well, with something like emberpay, they have a competitive rate, which is going to put more money back into the business's pocket each and every month, more money to grow their business, to take care of their family, whatever they want to do with it. And then out of the back end, out of the payment, my buddy Jared that runs this, he's going to give you a donation to the nonprofit of your choice. So if you are a nonprofit and you have friends that are already supporting you, you can go to them and ask something simple like, hey, if I could save you money on every transaction and help support us at the same time, would you be interested? And the answer is, of course, yes. Right? You connect them to Jared through this link right here. And so let's say they have, they're doing $1 million a month in business. They're probably spending 22 grand or more per month on transaction fees alone. Right. So if you can put 10 grand or something back in their pocket every month, and out of the back end, out of that 10 grand that they're having the payment processing, you're getting a kickback from this. So what does this look like? So for the Shine Foundation, while I was on their board of directors, we set this up with a local junior college. So every student buying books, every dad buying a sweater, every football game ticket sold, every hot dog sold, everything sold at the student union, every processed payment, a little kickback goes to the Shine Foundation. Well, we're a very standard. The things that we're doing each and every year are the standard kind of payment. Our budget's really set. So from this one single partnership, we no longer have to do any fundraising of any kind throughout the year, which means any event we put on can be a fundraiser and not a fundraiser. Come out, hang out, see what we're doing, talk about the great things. And I'm not going to ask you for any money. If you want to, great. If not, I don't want your money because we're fully covered. The more of these type of things that you have in your back pocket, and the more partnerships you create, you might get to where you're getting 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month from these type of partnerships that it doesn't take you any work after the first time you set it up. Because how long are they going to be in business? 5 years, 10 years, 100 years past that?
Right.
As long as they have the same credit card processor, you're getting paid each and every month. So why wouldn't you do this?
Okay, so this is using corporate or business connections, but I guess it would fall into that category of corporate sponsorship or corporate partnerships. Also acting as monthly donations, but it's basically a slice of their savings by changing their credit card processor.
Right. So the business isn't paying you, right? So the business gets more money in their pocket. The fee that's taken out pays Jared, his company, emberpay. And then out of his fee, he gives you a percentage. So all three people, it's a winning scenario. Everyone gets more money.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I see. So the business, you're just giving them an opportunity to save on their processing fees. And then, but that part of that savings, a part of the processing fee that emberpay charges, they then connect and give you. So you get a monthly fee basically from emberpay, but it's tied to the business that is using emberpay as their card processor.
Right. And so when you think about the connections, the people in your network, you might immediately think of local restaurants that help pay you out. And you can certainly sign those people up, but your kickback is probably going to be in the neighborhood of $75 to $150 for that transaction, that partnership, because restaurants just don't do that level of business. But if you listen to my interview with Isaac Belden, we go through this. Another friend of mine, he switched over an online gun store, and they do $750,000 a month in business.
Wow.
That one partnership can fully fund a nonprofit if they do it right. Someone that does auto repair, the regular auto repair shop, even in their first year, they're doing more than $1 million in business. Why can't you get a slice of that pie? Why can't you talk to the board of regents at your local college and get them to switch over their credit card processor? Why wouldn't they want to save money? They do. Everyone wants to save money in business. Set them up, get yourself a kickback on the side, give them a nice little plaque that said, hey, with each and every transaction, you support our nonprofit. Thank you so much for your service and your patronage.
Yeah. And so it gives them a bit of that marketing kudos that they would want to get anyway, but they don't actually have to dip into their budgets to make a contribution to you. It's happening anyway.
Right, exactly. And on the scale of difficulty, right, from the three things that we covered, we talked about swag for monthly donations. That's the easiest, cost you $0. You can set it up today. A little bit harder, right, is creating a website that's an active employee that generates people coming to you, whether through it's a blog using guest bloggers, again, so you're not doing the work, a podcast, which is easy. And I'd love to help you set that up. It's something that I do for nonprofits and businesses out there. It's fantastic. That's a little bit tougher to do. The hardest one is to ask this question. I don't know why it's so hard. Hey, if I could save you money in every transaction, would you be interested? I don't know why that's the hardest one, but it is. People don't want to say that. And I don't know why. If I, in my business, of course, I want to save money. And anyone that is in business, anywhere in the world, of course, they want more money in their pocket. Why wouldn't they? There's a reason they're in business. So go ask the easy question. Say, hey, if I could save you money in every transaction, would you be interested? And as a bonus, I'm never going to ask you for money again because the back end's going to pay me with each and every swipe.
Right. Okay. So 3 fantastic ways of creating very simply at very low cost, recurring monthly donations that can fully fund your nonprofit if you do it right. In terms of bang for buck or return on investment for your time and effort, this is really sort of a no-brainer. So we will recommend that everybody look at least one of these and take imperfect action. We're coming up to the end of our time, and I just want to say thanks to Travis for sharing that fantastic information. I want to say thanks to Yatme for this first, although it's episode 29 of the podcast, it is the first one on this platform, and I think so far it's worked really, really well. So really, really pleased we're able to showcase the platform as a way of running the podcast. So we're looking forward to improvements and developments in the platform. Again, free to nonprofits. Our 3 nominated nonprofits today from Travis were the Hive Connection, Nate's Community Garage, and Madeline Betty's. And you can donate to any of them. Even if you're watching this on replay, you can just scroll up to the top of the chat, and there are links directly to their YachtMe pages where you can make a donation. And soon on YachtMe, there will be recurring monthly donations to leverage the power of the CRM that is behind the platform. And finally, a shout out to PodPro Audio, professional podcasting made easy, for production of the episode. And what we'll be doing now is moving into YachtMe's mingle mode. And that's where we recreate the tables at a gala, and Travis and I and Meredith from YachtMe will be able to mingle a little bit with whoever's around as we actually close off the recording as the main event. So if you're thinking of using YachtMe for a virtual event, you'll have this sort of as the main event, and then you can turn to tables, which we will be doing momentarily. Any final words, Travis?
Just, thanks for the opportunity. Glad to have you on the show. And if you want to check out both of our shows, if you go to nonprofitarchitect.org, there's a little drop down for the Nonprofit Podcast Alliance. You're going to find my show, Kevin's show, Patrick Kirby's show, Jamila Kemp's show. Who else is on there? Tasha Anderson, and can't remember the other person, but it's like the grant writing simplified. There's 6 shows on there. If you want to be part of that group, be part of that collective, shoot me an email at nonprofitarchitect@gmail.com, and we'll get your show added to the website. And then the monthly or the weekly email reminder goes out, has every show that was published that week from all the different channels go out to my email list, so everyone gets a reminder. I think everyone's got a bump in listenership and viewership from being in the Nonprofit Podcast Network. But again, drop me a line, connect with me. We do this because we want to connect with you. So if you've got questions, ask them in the chat, find me on social media, send me a message, and let me know how I can best serve you.
That's great. Okay, so you find Travis nonprofit architect.org, is it? Not .com, .org. Also on Facebook and other social media platforms, you can find Travis. Something else that we probably should do another episode on, why nonprofits should do a podcast. We can do
Absolutely.
that and have you back. And then we can have these 3 nonprofits back too at a later time in the year when we've got even better functionality, and we can see if we can raise more money. Okay. So thanks. We'll close off the podcast formally now and move over to our mingle mode. And I'll let Meredith tell us how we do that, because I'm not exactly sure. Okay. I think at some point we're going to have to just